the revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.
Regan Slaymaker for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store in Our Kings, and I have the pleasure to be joined by the former British, Commonwealth and European Super Bantamweight champion Dennis McCann. Dennis, it's a long time coming. I mean, look, great seeing you here. First of all, how are you, mate?
All good, mate. All good. Good as can be. Good as can be.
Definitely. I mean, we are here, at a hotel that only a boxing event would bring me to. It's far posher than anything that I could ever enter, Dennis. I mean, for the fight between Issa Eldar and Kell Brook, in honour for the Ricky Hatton Foundation. I mean, a great event that's going to be happening in February in Dubai as well. Brilliant
for a great cause as well. I knew Ricky myself personally. What a great guy Ricky was, and such a tragedy. It's for a great cause, and I said, brilliant what people's doing. Kell and his opponent, it's brilliant.
It definitely is as well. And in February in Dubai, I mean, make sure you can travel. Anyone who can travel to the event and promote it as much as you can. I mean, Dennis, Where else to start? I mean, I've seen a few interviews. Obviously, no one's kind of heard of you since kind of the positive trace finding ahead of the Peter McGrail fight. Obviously, you couldn't say much then. Obviously, it was an ongoing case. But yeah, I mean, when the news first broke ahead of that fight, what was your immediate thoughts when that all came through?
It's just the biggest shock as was to you guys. It is to me. Got a phone call off Frank, and I thought he was having a laugh at me, to be honest with you. I thought he was joking. I genuinely thought he was joking. I was trying my suit on, ready to get on the plane the next day, and I thought he was genuinely joking with me. I started laughing, and I knew he was serious. Honestly, even to now, still a shock. Still a shock now, to be honest.
So what are the updates? You done an interview with Jonathan from Ringwalk Media, I think a couple of months ago now. I think it was when the Ryan Garner fight was happening. I think that's when I see it pop up on my feed. I mean, so what can you tell us about the ongoing situation between yourself, Vada, the board, and everything like that?
Well, I've done, as I said before, proved my innocence in DNA. It's scientifically impossible for me to be doping. In the same test, my blood sample was negative. The same test. So what would it be in urine and not your blood? So that was negative. My hair was negative. My armpit hair was negative, it goes back even longer. And even my nails was negative. So it's impossible to be doping. So they know I've been innocent since February. Why am I still here for? Why is it different for... There's 3 or 4 other fighters. Mungua, a lot more of the fighters. Pascal Clintz, the leading scientist, one of the biggest in the whole world. He was cleared to fight within 6 weeks. Why is it different for me? Why am I different?
Go on, sorry.
Yeah. Why is it different for me? What's going on?
So with that, Dennis, just
I feel like I've upset someone. That's the truth.
No. So just before we get on to that point, so the trace finding is positive for the Peter McGrail fight. Obviously, you and your team, you immediately do what obviously every fighter that happens is they have their due diligence. They have to go through a process. So your team, so what you're saying there, your team have tested the B samples and everything like that, gone through the correct process, and all of those are negative. Is that what you're saying there, Dennis?
About the B samples.
So all of the stuff. So you've gone through the process. The trace findings.
We've gone through all the processes.
Yeah,
we're still a year later on.
And you've gone through the process, and all of the hair, the follicles...
Negative. All negative. In the blood, in the same test. Negative. But I knew I never doped. I knew I didn't take none. That's why I went to Pascal Clintz. I ain't going to be that stupid to go to Pascal Clintz. He can detect up to 13 months. I think the test went back to like 10 months. Everything in your whole system. It's impossible. Scientifically impossible. So why is it different for me than it is for other fighters? What is going on, mate? The board is supposed to protect me and stuff, so... They ain't doing the job, are they?
So from your perspective then, Dennis, I mean, from everything you've said there, the ongoing situation, I imagine from your perspective and your team, it'll be resolved sooner rather than later.
I reckon we're at the end of it now, definitely. Listen, people got to realise the past 6 tests all the way through there, blood and urine, most of them, blood as well, every single one of them passed every test. So which idiot and which fool is going to go and take steroids 8 days before the fight? You'd be an imbecile. It wouldn't work, would it? Clearly. Do you know what I mean? You have to, you detect it. It'd be in my hair, it'd be in my nails. But regardless of that, which fool is going to go and take steroids 8 days before a fight? The biggest fight your whole career. Getting paid an awful lot of money for. You'd be an idiot, wouldn't you? Whoever thinks I've done this is an even more idiot. You got to be stupid to think that.
Definitely. You mentioned kind of the Jaime Munguia situation. I mean, that kind of bewildered everyone, especially kind of with previous situations where he fights Bruno Saras, the tests come back positive, and then within such a short amount of time, he's cleared to fight again. Right. I feel like from what you're saying there, Dennis, you feel there's a lot of inconsistencies between the Jaime Munguia situation and your situation, where that's resolved within the matter of, I think, weeks, from what you were saying, and yours has. I mean, when was the fight with Peter McGrail? This time last year,
12
correct?
months ago, yeah.
12 months ago. I feel from what you're saying there, Dennis, compared to the two situations, there's a lot of inconsistencies there.
Big time, big time. People ain't doing the job. That's the truth. I think it's so unfair that a young man like myself got kids to feed. I think it's very, very unfair what they've done to me. I've been treated really, really wrong. I need justice, and that's the truth.
Definitely. With that, Dennis, I mean, obviously the main priority when you can fight again is to get your career back on track. I mean, it's fair to say you were on a bit of a roll ahead of that Peter McGrail fight. I mean, I was a massive fan of that fight between yourself and Peter. I think it was a great fight. How do you get back into the top contention where you were? Because could you jump straight into a top fight, or would you have to kind of build yourself up again?
I ain't got to build myself up. I'm 24 years of age. I'm fit, full of the testosterone.
Sorry, that's baffling, by the way, Dennis, because I feel like you've been on the scene for years.
Many years,
yeah. But you're 24 years of age. Is that you need to jump into a fight?
I'm 24 years old. I'll fight Peter McGrail tomorrow morning. I'll beat him on one hand. That's the truth. Literally beat him on one hand. I'm fit as a fiddle. I've stayed fit all the way through this. Do you know what I mean? I've just been fighting mental battles, to be honest with you, but just trying to stay strong for my family and stuff, and get this situation resolved. But I'll have one fight back. I'll fight for world title straight away. I think I've still got my rankings with WBO, so yeah, I'll fight straight away. I'm young, mate, as I said to you. Don't stop training. Fit as a fiddle, so straight back into it.
Definitely. I mean, you just mentioned that you're still ranked. From what you said, I'll need to double check that. But from what you were saying there, where you're still ranked, where there's been no response from other parties involved, like you said, and from your words, the situation will be resolved through. Is there a lot of unanswered questions from your team side of things?
So many unanswered questions, critical unanswered questions, and they ain't getting answered because they can't answer them. They can't answer them. That's why they ain't getting answered.
From your perspective, I mean, we've already touched on it. A lot of injustices, kind of. I feel like if there was a lot of if there was transparency from, if they can say something, you can say something, right? Because then there's transparency there. Is that what in this situation where it's lacking from your team side of things? As in kind of, if I'm trying to word this correctly. So if the board or Vada or everyone like that, if they came out with a statement and gave their perspective, your team could then release a statement as not a rebuttal, but as to kind of to maintain transparency. Does that make sense?
Well, I've got it all to prove there. I've got paperwork after paperwork there. They got nothing. I've got it all right there. And to be honest with you, I would love them to release it to the whole public a long time ago. But unfortunately, I've been told not to. I want to shout from the rooftops, to be honest with you, and expose a lot of people, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to do so. So I've got to sit quiet and suffer in silence.
Definitely. I mean, so from what you're saying, obviously, obviously you mentioned kind of your family and things like that. It's a stupid question, Dennis, but I imagine that these times have been a bit tough for you, obviously. Very,
very tough. Listen, I set my family's future after that fight. And I've had more fights planned after that. World title eliminator next. And they just took everything. They might as well take my shoes as well. Take it. They took it all already. So they can have my T-shirt. I have all of it if they want.
Okay, final one from me, because I think the press conference for the fight between Aldar and Kell Brook's about to start. I mean, how has kind of your promoter Frank Warren he said that he's made some comments a few months ago about the situation. I mean, have you been in contact with Frank Warren?
Absolutely. He said he's never seen a situation like this in his whole life, and he's been boxing years and years, 40 years probably more. As he said, it's a farce, and this whole situation is a farce.
Definitely. I mean, I think the press conference is about to start. So, Dennis, thank you for joining me. I hope to catch up with you soon, and I hope the situation is resolved for everyone. Dennis McCann, thank you very much. Cheers.
Be back in the ring soon, guys.
the revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.